Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alexis and today I'm going to be sharing all of the books I'm hoping to unhaul. This goes for some children's fiction that I intended on getting to but never did, historical romances, and some contemporary romances as well. So with that being said, let's just hop into it. If you don't already know, I do have a Pango book shop, so feel free to check that in the link down below. Any books that I'm hoping to part with will be listed there. I may not always mention it in videos, so if you are interested in following along and potentially looking out for some of my collection, I suggest you give me a follow on that platform. But yes, let's hop into the books I have today. To start, I have the Percy Jackson series. I did, in fact, obtain book one, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief, a few years ago, I believe before I even started high school, hence you may notice some yellow pages. And later on, I did obtain the other four books in the series. These of which I never got to, and they are in newer condition, but I am selling it as a set, so feel free to check that out if you are interested in obtaining a physical copy of this series. Next, I have to share my historical romances that I'm parting with. Georgiana's Secret is the only clean romance that I am selling at the moment on my Pango bookshop that is historical. This is by Arlim Hawks, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. I did read it a while back and I did enjoy it. However, I think once is enough for me, but this is a great introductory story for people who want to try out historical romances and you don't want to just default to Jane Austen. This does involve disguising and it's on a ship, so hence these lovely pictures. But other than that, I'm ready to let this go. Ravished by Amanda Quick. I've honestly just not been tempted to pick up more of this author's books. I did try one of the other ones before that is also still listed, so feel free to check that out. This does not have a step back and whatnot. Judith McNaught, A Kingdom of Dreams. Velvet Chains by Constance O'Banion. Timeless Passion by Constance O'Day Flannery. Keeper of the Heart by Diane Chamberlain. This does have a step back, and because I didn't read this, I am not 100% sure if it is entirely a romance, if it ends in a happily ever after, but glancing at the first few pages, this does take place in the early 90s. I also have two books by Catherine Coultier. I have not read either of these books yet, but I do know that they come from the same series. Hillian Bride has this lovely step back, and The Heiress Bride with this lovely step back. A Perfect Hero by Samantha James. Two books by Tracy Ann Warren. My Fair Mistress and His Favorite Mistress. Untamed by Elizabeth Lowell. Dream Fever by Catherine Sutcliffe. I have four books by Christina Dodd. Three of these are part of the same series. Some Enchanted Evening, Book 1. The Barefoot Princess, Book 2. And The Prince Kidnaps a Bride. Finally, from Christina Dodd, I have My Fair Temptress. I'm also parting with some of Lisa Kleypa's books. I will say that I am hoping to get hold of the step back editions, and these are not those, so that is essentially why I'm parting with them, and they're still in great condition. Suddenly You, which is a standalone. Then I have the entire Hathaway series available. Book 1 is Mine Till Midnight. I did already read this. I already put my rating on Goodreads. Not a fan, but it is what it is. Seduce Me at Sunrise. This is book 2. Also not my favorite, but I'm parting with these editions anyway. The rest of the series I have yet to get to. This is book 3, Tempt Me at Twilight. Book 4, Married by Morning. And lastly, Love in the Afternoon. The last historical romance author I have today is Sarah MacLean. I have 4 of her books, 3 of which are from the same series. This first one, I'm not sure what series it's part of. I believe The Second Rule of Scoundrels, according to the cover, but I'm not familiar with that series. And this is One Good Earl Deserves a Lover. Has this step back. The other 3 books are from the Bare Knuckle Bastards series. I attempted to start book 1 and I got maybe a quarter into it. Not my vibe, and that is Wicked and The Wallflower. Has this step back. Book 2 is Brazen and the Beast. This step back. And lastly, Daring and the Duke. Now I'm going to share the contemporary romances I'm planning to part with. All of these are signed copies, so if you're interested in these authors, definitely feel free to check out my Pango books and reach out to me as well if you have additional questions. So definitely look into that. Someone Like You by Alexandra Silva. This is a UK edition, and like I said, it's signed. It does include a bookmark as well. Pictures are included in Pango. Crystal Caswell. This one has a signed bookplate. The Two Halves of My Heart by Rachel DeLune. This is also signed and has a bookmark with, I think this is called embossing or foiling. And lastly, The Co-op by Tara DeWitt. I am sad to part with this, but I did end up reading the story, listening to the audiobook, and it just wasn't my favorite. So there's no point in me being attached to the special edition in my case. And as you can see, it is signed. But it is a lovely copy. It's available. There you go. Now, you may or may not be wondering why I am choosing to unhaul my books at this time. We're almost halfway through the year. Some of these, or most of these, I've said before that I was interested in reading them. And to a degree, I still stand by that statement. However, I've been starting to reevaluate more what I want to put my time and energy into, what I want my space to be all about. And for now, these are books or just physical things in my space that I don't want here anymore. So I think it's only right to find them better homes. I've also been going through certain things past few weeks. Unexpectedly, we had to fly on the opposite side of the country because of family situation, and during that stay I was even working full time because it was unexpected. And thankfully my job allows for remote work, but that wasn't the plan. We had no intentions of going there around this time of year, but things unexpectedly happened and we had to leave. And then upon the next week that I returned, I had events for work because of things going on in the area. And then in the consecutive weekends, I had other family events. So it's just been a lot. And over that time, I've been reevaluating what I want to do with my space. And on one hand, I'm like, yes, I want to collect the books, but I also am starting to realize that I just want to hold on to books that are by authors who have inspired me and slash or stories that have inspired me and made me or impacted me in a very, important way for myself. So these are all books that I don't currently feel an attachment to. Maybe if I do ever get around to reading them and I do like them, I can always just, find another edition. But for now, in the space that I'm at, and with the time that I have, I do want to refocus and redirect my attention to things that are not just reading and watching movies. I do still have my resolutions that I want to get to that I've been putting off, as we all tend to do, but I'm trying to prevent that from happening some more. And part of that is decluttering and just making more time for other hobbies. So I may be adjusting how I read or how often I read, and just creating a clearer space for a clearer mind. That's kind of what I'm trying to do nowadays. So I hope that is a sufficient enough update for you guys. I do apologize for being gone for the past few weeks, but things happen, as I'm sure you all understand. So until next time, my name's Alexis. Take care and happy reading.